So if you do any kind of interior modeling in SketchUp, at some point you're going to have to model a cabinet. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how you can do that. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, so when you model cabinets, there's really probably 4 things you need to think about. So you need to think about the toe kick, you need to think about the box itself, you need to think about the doors, and then you need to think about the countertops. And so we're going to talk about how to do all of those in this video. So to start off, usually what I'll do is I will draw the footprint of the cabinet. So in this case, right, the cabinet is probably going to have a depth of, we'll call it 24 inches right here. And then it's going to have a width that can vary, but in this case, we'll say this particular cabinet is going to have a width maybe of 24 inches as well. So this will basically be square right here. And so then we're just going to rough out the height of our cabinet. And in this case, we're going to say that this cabinet is overall probably 36 inches high minus the height of our countertop. So what I've done is I've just pulled this up using the push-pull tool to a height of 36 inches, and I'll just pull it down 1.5 inches right here. So that gives me my basic box in here. Well, then what I want to do is I want to model out the toe kick. And so for the toe kick, I'm just going to draw an edge up that's going to be 4 inches right here, and then we'll pull this back maybe like 3.25 inches, so 3.25, something like that. So now we've got our base box shape in here. And so usually I don't get any more detailed than this. You can go in and model the inside of your cabinet, but I don't really see the sense in doing that unless you're actually going to be opening those cabinets up and showing the shelves on the inside. So usually what I want to do in this situation is I want to go ahead and I want to select this whole thing and I want to group it. So I've grouped the box right now, just so that when I start drawing the doors, they don't merge with the rest of this right here. And so now we need to rough out the doors that are going to go on the front. And in this case, I'm assuming that I'm going to have a door and a drawer on this cabinet. So I'm going to start by modeling out the drawer. So I'm going to say this is going to be 7 inches deep, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle on the face. So I'm going to tap the R key, single click, and move my mouse like this. And so we can assume this is maybe going to have a depth of like 3/4 inch. So I'm just going to use the push-pull tool to extrude this to 3/4 inch. And again, what I want to do is I want to take this whole thing and I want to make it a group. You can also make it a component depending on how you're copying this. I'm assuming that each one of these boxes will be a component, so we're not going to worry too much about that for right now. And then what I want to do is I just want to draw another rectangle here, and I want to push-pull it out to a depth of 3/4 inch. Like this. Now, one thing about this is I do like to leave a gap right in here, especially if I'm going to render anything like this out, just because otherwise you can't actually see it when you render it. It just looks like this like uniform flat slab, right? So maybe I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it down, and we'll say maybe there's a gap of 1/4 inch or something like that. 1/4 inch may be a bunch, but we'll go ahead and leave it for right now. And then I'm just going to triple click on it. Remember that triple clicking is going to select all the connected edges of this face. I'm going to right click and I'm going to make this a group. And so from here, there's a lot of different things that you can do depending on the style of door that you're creating, right? So in this case, let's start with like a shaker style cabinet. And so the shaker style cabinet is probably the simplest. And we're going to say these pieces are 2.5 inches wide. So what I can do is I can select this surface right here, and I can just say that we want to offset this in by tapping the F key and clicking 2.5 inches like this. So now I've got the exterior wood pieces in here. You could model these out as their own pieces if you wanted to do that, but I don't necessarily want to do that. But then what I need to do is take this central piece and I just need to pull it back in, because I'm assuming this is going to be maybe like a 1/4 inch panel, and this whole thing was maybe like 3/4 inch. So I'm going to pull this back in maybe like 1/2 inch or something like that. So that gives me my bottom panel. We can do the same thing up here by double clicking inside of this group. Remember, with the offset tool, you can offset by the same distance by activating the tool and double clicking. And then you can do the same thing with the push-pull tool right here. So now you've got your cabinet basically figured out in here. And so let's go ahead and add our pulls in here. And so in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw a line across this surface right here, just so I can find that central point really easy. So I can just mouse over this with the line tool, and I'm going to assume that this is going to be 2.5 inches wide this way, and then from that central point it's going to be 2.5 inches wide that way. And then we're going to tap the E key and erase out the ends. So that's basically going to be the length of my cabinet hardware. And now I'm just going to model this out. And so I'm just going to assume this has a projection of maybe 1¼ inches, so 1.25, like this. And so I'm just going to model this as a path right here. So I'm going to erase out this edge, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle around the middle here. Well, remember with the rectangle tool, you can tap the R key to activate it and then tap the Control key in order to create a rectangle from about center. So in this case, right, I can draw a square. And so I'm just going to assume that this is going to be square, and it's going to be 0.375, comma 0.375 for the size of our pole right here. And then we're just going to use the Follow Me tool. So I'm just going to come in here, use the Follow Me tool, select this surface, and then just extrude it along the surface right here. So now what I've got is I've got a cabinet door pole right here, or in this case it's a drawer pole, right? So I'm just going to right click on it, and I might make the cabinet hardware a component, and we'll just call this hardware pull, like this. Well then, since I've already created it, I would use the rotate tool in copy mode. So tap Q, single click, and tap Control in order to rotate this. And then I'm going to move this over and down onto my cabinet right here. And then you can kind of fine tune the placement in here depending on where you'd like it. So I'm just going to leave it right here. Well, now I've got my first cabinet. And so I want to take this cabinet, I want to select the whole thing, and I want to make it a component. And I'm just going to call this cabinet 24-inch wide and click on OK. So now I've got one cabinet. I can use the Move tool in copy mode to create another. Remember that in a lot of situations, you're going to want to flip this. So I'm going to tap the Control key, single click, and then scale this to -1 based on this central grip right here. And then I'm going to move these back together. And so depending on what you're doing with this, you might want to come in here and make this just like a teensy bit narrower. So not much, but just a bit. So I might come in here and select all of the edges on this surface and just move them back maybe like a 1/16 of an inch, something like that, so that I've got a little bit of a gap in here. You don't have to do that, but again, if you're going to render something out, you're going to want that gap just so this whole thing doesn't show as being like this completely uniform slab right here. And so let's say that we wanted to make a kitchen with multiple different boxes like this. I might create a couple copies in here, or just a copy in this case, but then we need to come in here and we need to model our countertop. And so usually I don't get too crazy with countertops. So a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll just draw a rectangle across the top, and I usually want my countertop to be a separate object from everything else, but then I'll just pull it up to whatever the thickness, maybe like 1 3/8 of an inch, something like that. But then I may also give it a profile, right? So whatever your profile might be, I might just round this off right here. So I'm just going to use the arc tool to draw an edge. Then I'll use the push-pull tool to remove this material. That just gives me that kind of like rounded look in here. You could also go to basically any website. So this one is just KW Countertop, but you can look at the profiles of your countertops and you can kind of model these out if you decide that you want to do that as well. So usually I don't, unless there's something specific I want to get. I do probably want this to overhang a little bit. So what you can do, right, because this is raw geometry in here, is you can select all of these different pieces. So you just want to select just the pieces associated with the front, and you can move those out a little bit. So whatever your overhang is going to be, maybe like 1 1/4 or something like that. And this is now going to have an overhang over your countertops or over your cabinets. And then you could triple click in here and just make it a group. And then if you need to make any adjustments, you can just edit this object right here. So sometimes cabinet doors have more complex profiles, right? So for example, let's say we were to look up an image right here. So here's an image that shows a cabinet door profile that's a lot more complex, right? So it's got like removed material on the edge here, around the middle right here, other things like that. So let's talk a little bit about what we might do with that. And so usually what I would do in this situation is I would find the profile that I'm looking for, and I just looked for cabinet door profiles online. There's actually a pretty good resource from this Arkansas wood doors website. So arkansaswooddoors.com/cabinet door profiles. So they've got a bunch of helpful profiles that you can basically bring down into your model. So like if we scroll down, right, there's they've got all these different wood door frame profiles, and you can see how they've got like a little slot in here where the wood piece would go. But you could take one of these. So in this case, let's just say that we wanted to do maybe this one right here. So what I would do is I would just take this whole thing, I would copy it, and then I would bring it into SketchUp and I would scale it. So I'm going to save this as an image, and then I would go back into SketchUp and I would import that as an image. So I'm just going to do an import right here. Remember with the Pro version, you can just do a file import, but we're going to bring in that image file. We're going to bring it in as an image, and I'm just going to bring it in like this. And so it doesn't matter how big you make it because we're going to scale it. And so notice how I can't double click in here to scale this. So what I want to do is I want to right click on it and I want to explode it. And then I want to double click on it again and I want to make it a group. So basically what I did is I exploded the image so it's only a surface, and then I regrouped it so it's something that I can actually double click in here. But now what I want to do is I want to use my tape measure tool. I want to activate the tape measure, and I want to tap the control key so I'm not in create guide mode. Then I'm going to click on this point right here, and we're basically setting our scale. So I want to click on this point right here. And so notice how this tells me that that distance was like 9 inches, something like that. So we'll click in here again. Well, I want to type in 2 7/8 inches, right? So 2 7/8 and hit the enter key. That's going to allow me to resize this component or this group so that it's the proper size. So notice how it made this a lot smaller. Well, now if I come in here and I measure this using my tape measure tool, right? So between this point and this point right here, it's 2 7/8 of an inch. And so what we want to do in this situation is we want to model out a cabinet door and maybe a drawer as well that has this profile. So to do that, I'm just going to create a copy of this box and paste it over here, just as kind of like a blank that we have in here. But then I'm going to take this and I'm going to align it with this surface. So what I want to do is I want to use the rotate tool in order to stand it up in a way that I can see it like this, and I actually need to turn it the opposite direction. There we go. And so what I want to do is I want to trace out this profile. So I'm just going to use the line and arc tools in order to do that. So I'm just going to draw a line here, a line here. And by the way, if this gets really small and you start having issues like this one, number of segments is too large for a given angle and radius, what you might do is you might take the whole thing, scale it up by a factor of 10 and draw on top of it and then scale it back down. Because when these get really small, SketchUp has issues dealing with the number of edges that need to go in the segments in order to make up those curves. So I just draw it bigger and then I make it smaller again. So if I size it up by a factor of 10, then I've never really had any issues. All right, so now I've got my profile drawn. So we're just going to select the whole thing, scale it back down by a factor of 0.1, and then we're going to align it with the door that we want to create. So in this case, right, I'm going to draw the door profile right here, and then I'm just going to take this whole thing, and usually I want to make a copy of it because I want to keep a copy of the profile in case I need it again. We're going to take this profile and we're going to align it with this edge right here. Well, remember again, what this is this is a profile that we can extrude using the Follow Me tool. And what we have now, right, I'm going to select this and hide it for a second. What we have in here is a path. So I'm going to erase out this edge, but then I can use the Follow Me tool to extrude this profile along this path like this. So when I click, what that does is that closes this whole thing in. And you can come back in here and you can either erase or hide these edges. You can see that what this has done is this has modeled out our cabinet door right here using that profile. And so what I might do is I might erase out this back panel and then come in here and just select the whole thing, make it a group, And then just draw a rectangle from this corner to this corner, and then push-pull it to the thickness of our door. And then we'll just go back into our display, unhide all, and then we could do the same thing with our drawer right here. And in this case, what I might do, because this shape is kind of complex, is I might move this up that gap that I want in here. So maybe it's like 1/8 of an inch or something like that. We can say 3/16 of an inch, that should be fine. But then I'm just going to take this profile, move tool in copy mode, align this somewhere on this edge, and then we'll just use the follow me tool again. And again, with the desktop version, you can just select this path and single click on it. It doesn't really like doing that on the online version. But you can see how modeling this out was pretty easy. And then we could just take our pulls from before. So I might just do a Control C and a Control V. And so that is how you can create a cabinet door using custom profiles. So let me know if you have any questions about anything we talked about in the comments down below. Remember that I only have 46 days or so before Basecamp, and I'm trying to pass SketchUp in subscriber count. So if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, please make sure to do that right now. But as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.